Welcome to the next session of Strength of Materials. In this session, I am taking up a derivation on the stress calculation due to an impact load. When a load applied on a body falls from a certain height, it is called as impact or shock or falling load. This is something which we discussed previously. I have shown you this diagram. Say this is a member which is fixed at a particular end. This is the collar of the body. And here you have a movable load, which means it can fall down if required. Say it is at a height of h from the collar. The total length of the member is L, and here what I have shown is when this load falls on the collar, you will find that there is a deformation on the body. So this collar, which was in complete dark lines, will now be moving to a position of dotted lines. So this change is the change in length, that is delta L. Consider a member is fixed at its top and the collar is attached to its lower end as shown in the figure above. P is the movable load, H is the height of fall, L is the length of member, A is the cross-sectional area of the member, delta L is the deformation of the member, and sigma is the instantaneous stress, or it can be also called as the shock stress or impact stress. So let's use this as sigma I because this is something which we have already taken up. So I'm taking sigma I. Now let's talk about the work done by this load which falls on the collar. Now for that we will first draw a diagram. We have already seen this change in length and load. Now this is a shock load. So the load is completely going to be P. That is not changing. Now when I write work done, the unit of work done is Newton meter. So when I say Newton meter, load is in Newton. And when I say meter, which means I need to multiply by some distance. Now when you observe here, your load P is falling this height of h. So I can easily multiply and say that this is the work done on the body. But if you observe, it is not only h, it is plus this delta L. So I will have to multiply with the distance, which will be P into h plus delta L. Now here also if you want, you can take it as delta L I. I am not writing I, but you can take it as I because this is of impact type and that is what we have discussed. We also know that whatever is this work done will be the strain energy stored in the member. Now when I say it is the strain energy stored in the member, we know that the strain energy has a formula sigma square upon 2E into AL. Now when I say that this is the formula, I can equate these two. So let me call this equation 1 and let me call this as equation 2. So here when I equate these two, I'll have P into H plus delta L is equal to sigma I square upon 2E into AL. Now let me open up this left hand side bracket. Therefore I have PH plus P into delta L is equal to sigma I square upon 2E into AL. Let me take these two terms on the right hand side. Therefore sigma I square upon 2E into AL minus PH minus P delta L is equal to 0. Now delta L can be written as sigma L upon E. This will be sigma I. So I can substitute this over here and also rearrange these terms a bit. So I have AL upon 2E into sigma I square minus, this will be P sigma I L upon E minus PH is equal to 0. Now here also I can rearrange this. So I have AL upon 2E into sigma I square minus PL upon E into sigma I minus PH is equal to 0. Let me mark this as equation 3. Now if you look at this equation, this looks something like AX square plus BX plus C is equal to 0. So when I compare these two quadratic equations, I can say that A is AL upon 2E, I can say B is minus PL upon E, and I can say C is equal to minus pH. We know that for x, if I want to find the root, so x is nothing but minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So this is for x. Now here I don't have x, I have sigma I from this equation 3. So this will be sigma I is equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Now let me substitute these values over here. So what I get is, this is minus and another minus, so this will be pl upon e plus or minus root of b square. So this will become p square l square upon e square minus 4 into a is al upon 2e and c is minus ph divided by, I have 2 into a is this term al upon 2e. This is my total term sigma I. Now let's rearrange these. Now if you look here, this 2 and 2 will get cancelled. In the numerator and denominator, I am going to multiply with a term e upon al because I just want to remove this term from here. So this term I'll be actually multiplying in the numerator and denominator. So when I multiply the numerator and denominator by e upon al. So if you look carefully, sigma I will be, the first term is multiplied with e upon al. So what remains is p upon a plus or minus root of, this 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So here if I multiply, this will be p square upon a square, which will be left, minus 2. So here you already have al upon e, which is e upon al. So when I take it outside, what would remain behind is e, this h from here upon l. P is left here in the numerator by a. So this is what remains. Now here if you observe, this p by a can be taken out common. These two negative sign will make this two positive. Now what remains is p by a plus or minus root of. These two terms have p by a. So let me take a p by a common. I have p by a. Let me take this p square by a square term common from both of them. So in the first term what will remain is 1 plus, here since I have taken p square by a square, so this will be 2eh upon l into p and a. These two terms will remain. Now when I take these two outside the root, it will be p by a plus or minus p by a root of 1 plus, this is 2h, let it be outside, and what can be left inside is a e upon pl. That's what is left here. Now when I take this p by a common, what remains is 1 plus or minus root of 1 plus 2h upon delta l. Now if you observe, this cannot be a plus and minus. I don't have to take the two stresses simultaneously, which is maximum and minimum. So let me take the maximum stress. So this will be PA into 1 plus root of 1 plus 2h upon delta l. This is my formula for sigma I. Now this sigma I can also be written as sigma into 1 plus root of 1 plus 2h upon delta l. Okay, so this is what you obtain. Now suppose if I take the sigma I upon sigma, what remains is 1 plus root of 1 plus 2h upon delta L. Now this term sigma I upon sigma, this is called as load factor. So I will indicate it by say N. So this load factor N can be calculated with the formula 1 plus root of 1 plus 2h upon delta L. So if at all it is required, you can calculate the load factor of a body which is subjected to some amount of load and there is some strain energy stored in the body. So with this I end the session. I hope you have understood the lecture. If you have any doubts, please write to me in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon for latest updates of my videos. See you in the next session with numericals on this topic. Thank you.